Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, let's pull up this screen. Oh, yeah, we got a lot to talk about today. We've got the Vols ticket sales have absolutely exploded. We've got Lane Kiffin talking smack, and we've got a YouTuber that wants the Vols punished. And there's a lot more on top of that. You know, I played golf yesterday, so I didn't actually do a video, even though I had one launch early in the morning that I did the night before. But so a lot happens over the last 48 hours, and I want to cover a bunch of it. First of all, let's look at these ticket sales. It says Vols football already surpassed 70,000 season tickets sold for this fall, and it's by Rick Nyman of WDEF.com. Talks about building off the momentum of the epic 11-win season last fall and the big win in the Orange Bowl, that Tennessee has sold 70,000 plus season tickets, nearly 10,000 more than its target of 61,000. Everybody's anticipating 96% renewal rate, which is really, really strong. And it says, in an era of stadium downsizing, Vol Nation continues to send a strong message with tremendous passion. They're actually way ahead of a 5-year goal. They wanted to hit 70,000 tickets over 5 years, and they've done it in like a little over 2. And they're ecstatic to be on the cusp of selling out our season ticket inventory, which they'll probably do in a matter of days. So the passion, excitement, all of that good stuff is really going strong for the Vols right now. And it's understandable. I mean, they're putting out a team that is so exciting to watch. That offense, I mean, if you blink, you're going to miss something important. A lot of times they'll come back from a commercial break and they've actually missed the first touchdown. That's actually happened a couple of times. And hey, man, look, that's just the way Heupel likes it. He's going to go fast. He's going to go strong, and he's going to be proficient. And if you're not ready on defense, that's your problem. You know, you've had all week to prepare. Be prepared.
Snap out of it.
And what I'm hearing about spring practice is that Dylan Sampson's lighting it up. You know, he was really strong last year as a freshman, but he was having some problems picking up blocks, and he got Hendon Hooker hit a couple of times that he didn't need to, so they had to pull him at that point and get him a little bit more trained on that, but I think he's about where he needs to be on it. Towards the end of the year, he was really picking it up well, and this is a guy that could really go off and have a lot of yardage. He's a heck of a runner. And I'm also hearing that Squirrel White's wearing it out, because Squirrel, look, this guy was a 3-star. Which was the most ridiculous rating I'd ever seen. I showed you his highlights when he committed, and I just thought it was ridiculous because he was running literally almost twice as fast as anybody on the field, and guys his own size. So it was obvious he was a 4 or 5-star, and he's shown himself to be that. I mean, he received almost 500 yards last year as a true freshman. So I expect big things from him in the slot, and I'm hearing that our linebacker crew is looking good as well. So I'm feeling much better about that. You know, hopefully our cornerbacks and our safeties really play well this year. They need to play better than they did last year. That was our Achilles heel, and if they don't solve that, you know, that's going to continue to be a hole in the bucket that just continues to leak out. But spring practice seems to be going pretty well. Of course, Saturday we'll be having the orange and white game, and everybody will get to see it for themselves. But the ticket sales are dramatic. I mean, it's pretty obvious that our crowd is very excited about 2023. Now, I want to talk a little bit about our buddy Lane Kiffin. He had a press conference, and he's been talking some smack about him supposedly going to Auburn and all that kind of stuff. And let's see what he has to say.
Lane, I know it's been a few months now, but it's kind of come up a couple times, especially I think today again, ESPN just talked about you and the Auburn job and that saga. Just kind of what about it is still maybe lingering on you, or your thoughts about that?
It's interesting you asked that on the first day I've seen John in a long time. Good to see you, John. See, I did say obstacles away in there, so I do find a way to turn everything positive. So I appreciate John for creating all that chaos that he created with his false information, but that allowed us to work through it, and like I said in the article, help our collective. So really, our fans and our collective should thank John for that.
Oh.
No, serious. No, that was, you never know what they're going to write. They come in, and I think I spent 90 minutes with them, and so, people a lot of times think, okay, well, you pick how an article is written. They do whatever they want, make the headlines and write however they want it. So to me, it was just another reminder. I mean, guys, there's not a day that don't go by that I'm not grateful for Oxford, for Ole Miss, especially with Landry here, as you guys know, and her friends at the house, and then her decision to move here, and then now her decision to go to Ole Miss. As you get older, you're never going to be able to replace that time with your children, and to be able to have her here. And I mean, I guess I said it before, and that's just a reminder that probably was a better line at the time because we'd won 10 games, but saying that, I needed Oxford and Ole Miss much more than they needed me. So I think people thought that was neat when I said it, but they might be saying, no, we don't need you after the bowl game. But like I said, there's not a day go by that I'm not appreciative for my opportunity here and the support here. And that article is just a reminder, to be in a position where someone wants you and wants to keep you is really neat.
All right. So basically it was the sports writer's fault that all that went out there about him going to Auburn. He had nothing to do with it at all. Okay.
Liar!
First of all, he was talking to Auburn. I think everybody knows that. Secondly, he had a contract extension sitting on his desk for a month from Ole Miss and wouldn't sign it. And when he was asked directly about if he was going to stay at Ole Miss, he wouldn't directly answer the question. He wouldn't answer the question either way because he was playing both sides. And I think what happened, Auburn wouldn't give him the money that he wanted. And then he thought, well, it's not exactly the money I wanted. Ole Miss is going to pay me basically the same. They're matching it. And I might as well stay. And I think he, probably did enjoy seeing his kids go to the prom and all that sort of thing. But look, he's the one that didn't shut this down. He could have shut it down at any time. He could have come out and said, I'm staying here. I will not be going to Auburn. I'm not going to sign a contract there. I'm actually right now in front of you signing the contract extension to stay at Ole Miss. And that would have ended it immediately, and his players would have been fine.
Logical.
But the problem was that lingered. And so the players felt like this guy's going to leave us. Why should we care? And when you get into a team psyche and start messing with their chemistry like that, they're going to start struggling because when you play in the SEC, there is a very fine line between winning and losing, and that line got crossed. And so Ole Miss wound up after starting, 8-1, lost like 4 of the last 5 because their team, partly because they had a tougher schedule and partly because the team was in chaos. He literally had to have a meeting with the players and to talk to them about it, but I don't believe he told them he's staying. I think he said, I'm still your coach and that sort of stuff because he hadn't made the decision. So that's on him. That's on him. You can blame the sports writers all you want. You could have shut it down at any time.
Shut up!
And you also have a big-time history of going back and forth and leaving. You did it at UT after only 1 year, and that's when you really, really burned bridges. Then you went to USC and got fired. And then you went to Alabama and got yelled at on the sideline, although you performed pretty well there. Then you went to FAU and immediately left as soon as you got a job offer that was good. So, and then you entertained Auburn. So that's look, that's on you, dude. That's on you. My last video, I had my brother on and we were talking about the NCAA, and I've been covering that quite a bit. That next week we're going in front of the board, their infractions board, and going to be talking to them. And Jeremy Pruitt's going to be there along with Derek Ansley, and they're going to get questioned. And the NCAA is going to decide what kind of punishments to hand down, et cetera. They've already handed down 3 show cause years for 4 different coaches. And so that's probably what Jeremy Pruitt and Derek Ansley are looking at, or worse. I think it's going to be worse. And UT has already self-sanctioned themselves 12 scholarships and a bunch of other restrictions that they had to abide by during their first year. And, of course, they turned everything over to the NCAA, gave them all the evidence.
Got the evidence! Put the evidence in the car! But put the evidence in the car!
And fired everybody involved. But, there's a question of whether NCAA will take that or not, and they have not accepted that as ample, even though they did praise the Vols for their cooperation, bringing all the evidence to them, and really being ideal as far as handling the problem. And I think it's important to remember that if they do punish them with for example, a bowl ban, their charter has a new bylaw. And it actually says that the NCAA, to the greatest extent possible, should not punish student athletes that were not involved with wrongdoing. So if you're going to go by your bylaw, you shouldn't do that, especially with a college that completely cooperated to the point you praised them. Now, had we been difficult and fought him and all that, I could understand that. You know, that's normally what you do. And since Pruitt's not agreed to anything, I think they're going to probably hammer him pretty good. But, you know, we'll see. You know, it's not like he can't go to the NFL and make money. What he wants is his $12.6 million, and I can't blame him for that. But we do have a YouTuber that I've been talking back and forth with, is Carolina Jackpot. He commented on my last video where I thought like the Vols had pretty much sustained the punishment they would get. But he disagreed. He felt like they needed to be punished more. And, you know, we went back and forth on it. It's like, man, do a video on it, dude. You know, I don't have a problem with people that have a different opinion than I do. That's, you know, that's just life. That's free speech, man. But anyway, he did address it in a video. He was covering his Gamecocks, which is his team. And, you know, obviously he's going to be biased, and I'm biased for the Vols. You know, I'll admit that. But anyway, here's his opinion on it.
Sports Talk Jay, talking about Tennessee facing the having to kind of pay the piper, I guess, for the whole Jeremy Pruitt McDonald bag garbage that's happened. And, you know, the vast majority of Tennessee fans feel like they shouldn't have to answer to the NCAA because they have already self-imposed things upon themselves. We reduced our scholarships. We did this, we did that. You know, it doesn't matter. You still should be punished for having a coach on your payroll, having a coaching staff on your payroll, having a coaching staff, a coach's wife on your payroll, who was stuffing McDonald's bags with money and handing it out to recruits at a time when it was.
First of all, I need to correct him here. Those were not McDonald's bags that were filled full of cash. Those were Chick-fil-A bags. Details matter in something like this. So anyway, let's let him continue.
Legal to do so. There was no NIL at the time. So Tennessee should have to pay for those transgressions. And they knew it was going on. You can't tell me that they didn't know it was going on. And they were still losing. And they fired him. They said, well, we fired him. We fired everybody that was involved. Yeah, you fired him. Because he was a damn terrible head coach. That's why you fired him. Give me that crap. And here's the thing. When you're a kid and you screwed up, brought home a bad report card, you know, you got caught stealing something. You did God knows what to get in trouble. Would you have rather faced an ass whipping from your dad, or would you rather have self-imposed your own ass whipping? Answer that down in the comment section below.
All right. Now, here are the flaws in that argument. Normally, I would agree with him on that, but here's the problem. The kid that came home, he's not the one that made the mistake, okay? It was his brothers or his friends, not the kid, because the Vols didn't do that. Now, you can say, oh, they knew. There's no way they knew somebody was handing out over 3 years, $60,000, $3,000 here, $3,000 there in a paper bag. How would you know that if you're the president of the university or the AD? You're not going to know that. The reason it was put in little bags like that is so nobody would know. That's why they used cash.
Tiger, here. Keep it fair. Keep it fair, will you?
No, I can't accept it.
You know, it's not like they wrote checks that had University of Tennessee on it. Okay. So I don't believe for a minute that the top dogs knew about it, because they would not have gone along with it. That's insane. There's no way. And I actually, look, I don't agree with them doing it. I do understand why they did it, especially if his wife did it. When you're sitting there and you're making $4 million a year, and over 3 years you've made $12 million, and there are people that are struggling, that are out on that practice field, and their mother's struggling and they don't have a way to get to work, they need a car, or they need medical bills paid, it would be very difficult to say no and say, I'm not going to help you. So, you know, I get why they did it. It was a mistake, and I'm not saying it's right. And the coaches are being heavily punished. They lost their job. They got show cause penalties. They can't work in college football, basically. And it's been rough. Okay. And the Vols had an explosion, basically, you know, and we went into a bad situation. And we just got very fortunate with Danny White being the new AD and him hiring Josh Heupel, which I didn't agree with at the time, be the first to admit it. We got very lucky, very lucky. We could have been down for even another 5 years, and like we've been the last 10 or 15, really. So I think we're in a great situation. And we did self-impose 12 scholarship reduction along with other restrictions. So it's not like we did nothing. So anyway, we'll see how this plays out. But I thought that was an interesting point. And I think Carolina Jackpot is kind of like this when it comes to the Vols. Yep, gave us the thumbs down. But here's the thing. South Carolina has to come to Neyland this year, and I think he's going to be forced to do this. Yep, he's going to have to give it the thumbs up after we put about 50 on him. So we'll see how that plays out. Anyway, I always like to see what the other folks are saying out there on YouTube, especially behind enemy lines of, sports enemies, not real enemies. But anyway, I also told you my brother and I played golf yesterday, and I got off to a stupid good start. I made 3 birdies in the first 4 holes.
How's bragging camp going?
Yeah, which is very rare for me. We were playing River Islands Golf Club, and that's a course that I actually used to run about, that was from 1990 to 97. I was the general manager there. But anyway, I got off to a really hot start.
Did you see that?
And then I cooled off after that. Like I said, it was, I don't think, but I made 1 birdie after that for the rest of the round. But anyway, I took a little video of my brother's swing and then mine, and just thought I'd let you take a look at it just for the heck of it.
He got all of that one.
That's my brother Chilmont, who you've seen on the show. He's a pretty good golfer. I think he shot like 79 or 80 and hadn't played in a month. So he just hits it straight, man. Guy just hits it straight. And here's my swing, and I'm left-handed, so it's going to look totally backwards to you. And I keep my hands back at address, especially with my driver. It allows me to take the club outside. But anyway, here's my drive on the 18th tee.
It looks like I'm a wreck. It's in the hole. It's in the hole. Hey,
But anyway, we had a good time and had fun. It was really nice out there. River Islands Golf Club is a beautiful golf course. There's always your fairways. They've got the new Champions hybrid Bermuda greens, which they look beautiful. They're super healthy. They do have a little bit of grain in them, which is Champions with that little bit of Bermuda in them, that hybrid. They're a little bit grainy, but I mean, they putted nice. They putt good. They don't putt quite as good as bent grass greens, but man, they're healthy and they're beautiful. And you can putt them. I made some putts on them, and so did the players in my group. And the Zoysia fairways are unbelievable. And the layout, River Island's the most beautiful layout I've ever seen in East Tennessee. And it's gorgeous. Across those rivers and those islands, it's really something. And it's a good value. So if you're looking for a place to play, check out River Islands, man. It's beautiful. It's something else. Anyway, I just thought I'd cover all that good stuff. And looking forward to the orange and white game and anything Vols. It's easy to get excited about. And if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Lets me know to continue to cover the Vols and all that good stuff. If you've not subscribed, it's right here on the left. Just hit that little button. Costs you absolutely nothing. Helps me out. I'd appreciate it. And right over here is my most recent video. Check that one out. And we'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.